Welcome to the Introverted Influencer Podcast. I'm your host, Erica Van Slyke. My soul's mission on this planet is to help fellow introverts grow their online influence in a state of feminine flow and ease. While battling the woes of depression, anxiety, and even mom guilt, I've somehow managed to build a six-figure blog without the use of social media and without sacrificing my mental health. If I can do it, you can fucking too. Hello there. Welcome back to episode 31 of the Introverted Influencer Podcast. So if you missed last week's episode, I had my very first guest on the show last week with my friend Gina Oldham, and we announced that she is going to be the one throwing an event in Chattanooga in November called Clarify Your Purpose and Step Into Your Calling. And she has invited me to be a keynote speaker there. So I hope some of you guys can actually make the event. I am super nervous to be showing up and speaking in public because that is like my biggest fear, but I'm stepping through it and I want to help others. So I'm going to leave the link to the event in the show notes for you guys. Check that out. But we have kind of been going over what each of the keynote speakers are going to be speaking about. And she was kind of going over some of the pain points that she'd already noticed from some of the women that we know will be there. And one of these women in particular said that she struggles with demons in her head. And as soon as Gina told me that, it really, really struck such a chord with me, because I know exactly what that's like. I am no stranger to demons, head demons, if you'd like to call it that. In fact, I had so many damn demons, especially as a young lady, that I had to drown them out in my early years, and I developed an addiction to prescription pills. It got so bad, it led me into a mental facility after I had really just tried to end the demons for good. So, God, that struck a chord, and this world is crazy. I just found out that a girl I used to hang out with back in my school days passed away from a heroin overdose. And I was so incredibly disturbed because I thought, my God, that easily could have been me if I didn't go through the self-development and spiritual journey that I have gone through to basically strengthen my nervous system. And the demons never go away, but I have developed a toolbox to deal with these demons. So that is what I want to talk about with you guys today. And like I said, I'm not beyond the demons. I have had to face a whole new round of demons just coming out with this podcast. And now, at the thought of me getting up on stage in November and speaking as a motivational speaker to actually really high-performing professionals, it's a lot of the who the hell do I think I am demons that I am facing right now. But all of that being said, I'm still standing. I'm still here, and I'm still doing the damn thing, which means I have come a long, long way from basically drowning out all of my demons with prescription medications. So I wanted to kind of share. It was kind of a light bulb moment for me when I learned these few questions. And I hope that it can kind of help you step outside and not blindly just believe these crazy self-limiting thoughts. So I don't know if any of you have heard of Katie Byron, but she is a thought leader. She's an author. And you would never guess this with her resume now and how far she has come. But actually in her 40s, she was an alcoholic. She was addicted to, I think, codeine. And she had like 3 kids. She didn't have a job. She was miserable. And she basically hit rock bottom, was forced into a rehab facility. And I guess through her withdrawal, she kind of had a moment of clarity, an epiphany. And she calls it the work. But what it is it involves asking yourself these 4 questions, because this is what's going to squash a lot of those demons that I guess cause a lot of pain and maybe leads to addiction and a life not truly lived. So when you get some shitty thoughts in your head, ask yourself these 4 questions, okay? This is from Katie Byron. Number 1, is it true? Is this thought true? You know, that I'll always be miserable. I'll never be successful. I'm not good enough. Is it true? Is it ultimately true? Which leads to the next question. Can you absolutely know that it's true, like without a shadow of a doubt? I'll never be worthy of money. I'll never have success. Is that ultimately true? Absolutely true. Number 3, how do you react when you believe that thought? How does it feel if you believe it? Probably not good, right? That's where we get caught up in number 3, I think. We believe the shitty thought. Number 4, who would you be without that thought? And I think this is where we need to dwell. So those are some really simple questions, but I think they're so effective because they pull us out of that spiral. And it kind of helps us to realize like how irrational we are when we succumb to those thoughts. Because there's a teacher, I love her work, Amanda Francis, she's hilarious, but she likes to say, is there a chalkboard in heaven, or is there a chalkboard written in the sky that says whatever your self-limiting belief is true? And no, it's all bullshit. It's your perception. So I'm challenging you today. Stop blindly believing the demons in your head. It's irrational. Okay? And if it's not enough for you to ask yourself those 4 questions to kind of pull you out of that negative loop, I would also suggest, this is what really helped me become, I think, a lot more even keel, is meditation. and really devote it, or even if you don't like to just sit and block out all the thoughts in your mind, which that's not meditation. Even just the art of mindfulness in some way, if that's like a quiet walk in nature, being in nature. Maybe it's just journaling. That is another practice that I've picked up over the past 2 years that helps so much. So when I have those thoughts, I journal them out. And it's like by getting it out of your body, you're getting it out of your auric field, and you can then become the observer because you can more objectively look at what's going on. And this is what any sort of mindfulness practice and meditation can do as well, because instead of just not even being aware that you are falling into something like that, you can more easily pull yourself out and just be the observer and recognize, yes, okay, I'm getting those demonic sorts of thoughts again. I'm beating myself up, but it's not ultimately true, and I can stop it and I can question if it's ultimately true. But my favorite part of all is step 4. Who would you be without that thought? That's what you've got to latch on to. So yeah, I can sit here and say, who the hell am I to speak to all of these women? I feel like I suck at speaking. I feel like my brain is turned to mush since being a mom. Yeah, I can go down that path and beat myself up and talk myself out of it. But I'm choosing to act as though those thoughts are not true. And I'm going to step through it because I want to be the girl who doesn't let those beliefs get the best of her and keep her from living the life she knows she's supposed to live. So, I hope this helped. Just remember, you are not your thoughts. Thoughts come and go like clouds. Choose to latch on to the good ones. Sending you all my love. And I would absolutely love to give you a big old hug and meet you in person at the Step Into Your Purpose event, November 5th. So I will leave that link in the show notes. Thank you so much for stopping by this week. I make no money from this podcast, so the best way you can pay it forward is by leaving the show a 5-star review, sharing it with a friend, or even screenshotting this episode on your phone, uploading it to your Insta story, and tagging me in it at Designing Vibes. Sending you my love.